Well, good morning. I'm doing a later in the morning little live stream from my desk here at Graham Central Station. And you see the name of this is called Tuberville, the Alabama Senate race. And right now, according to AL.com at least, Tuberville is like into a 17-point lead over Doug Jones. But I want to share this with you because I think it's important for most Alabamians, for a lot of Alabamians, to think about. And this is where you stand in Alabama, one of the worst states in the nation when it comes to poverty. We are at the top of the list, I should say. And unfortunately, we have people that are just not smart enough to vote for their own interest. Alabama Republican Senate nominee Tommy Tuberville said today he opposes restoring the $600 a week federal unemployment benefit, a key point of debate in Washington over a new coronavirus relief package. Tuberville was a guest this morning on Alabama's Morning News with JT on News Radio 105.5 in Birmingham. He faces Democratic Senator Doug Jones in November 3rd general election. Of course, the Democrats want to extend the $600 weekly benefit, which expired at the end of July. This is now August 4th. Republicans generally oppose it. Tuberville said this morning that $600 a week was way too much. We're having people just sit out, not working because they're making more sitting around. We've got to go back to work. I'd rather pay them to work. Pay people more money to go back to work other than sit at home, because we're going to get used to all this and it's not going to work. And of course, he supports Trump's proposal for a cut in payroll tax. Employees pay a tax equal to 7.6% of their earnings to support Social Security and Medicare. President Trump will do an executive order. He wants to do the payroll tax elimination, and he can do that on his own. The radio host asked Tuberville about a poll released today that showed him a 17% lead over Jones. He simply said, "We're not stopping. We're going to run to the finish line. We've got a double-digit lead, but we're playing this like we're in a touchdown field." He is a coach. But let's tie this $600 weekly in with the real Tuberville. Tuberville, coach, politician, Alabama, Auburn Tigers football, and then he worked in Texas as well. His starting salary, or earlier on in 2015, he got a $2 million per year salary through the 2015 season. And let's see if we can update that. This is now 2020. Why coaches can thank Auburn and Tommy Tuberville for $20 million plus buyouts. Gosh, I don't know. Nick Saban changed the salary market in 2007 when Alabama made him the first $4 million a year coach. And then you know what we do to these guys. Are we getting any support? You gonna get any support from Tuberville? Let's be honest now. I agree. If people can work, fine. But guess what? We're in the middle of a pandemic. It's not the fault of these people that they can't work. You're suggesting that people will get used to getting this money and not want to go back to work. And you, Tuberville, just like what you said about wearing masks, are an idiot, and those that support you are equally idiots. I don't know what to say. I don't understand why people would support people with that mentality. No way. Anyway, there's Tuberville in the news. That's that race. I don't pay a lot of attention to local news because we always fall behind the the nation. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We're never gonna climb out of our bullshit. We're too ignorant to take care of ourselves and to have a state government that's going to take care of us. So anyway, that is that. We're looking right on the edge of schools going back. It's going to be interesting to see what that does. People are really geared up to get events going again in the middle of this pandemic. Not a good thing. That's all I can say about that. Not a good thing. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. We are not in a situation to where we should be looking to get back into events. And believe me, events have been important to my income, but Donald Trump, and his ignorance again, was asked about the COVID death toll, and his comment was simply, "It is what it is." And then, of course, he cannot even get over bashing a dead man. Asked about the legacy of John Lewis, and he said he commented more about Lewis's failure to or refusal to come to his inauguration and State of the Union address, saying that he thought that was a bad mistake, and then asked about his legacy in the civil rights movement, and Trump basically said, "Well, there's a lot of people that were involved in the civil rights movement." He's did the same thing with John McCain. Nothing new there. When you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, and you cannot give credit to anybody else, especially if they don't agree with you. Let's put it that way. If somebody praises you, that's different. You'll wrap your arms around it. So anyway, we've got this mask fiasco bullshit. Man charged with shooting at an employee after being asked to wear a mask in a Pennsylvania cigar shop. This is just pathetic. It's just pathetic where we are with this. Pennsylvania man is facing charges of attempted criminal homicide after he allegedly shot an employee of a cigar shop who asked him to wear a mask. If I own a business, and it's funny, these assholes didn't have a problem with these businesses that put these signs up that no slacking pants, or even no shoes, no shirt, no service. I own a business. I can do that. I'm not judging you by your religion, by your race, any of the above, gender. I'm simply saying that we have a dress code, and that's not unusual. Go to a lot of places in our country, and they have dress codes. Well, right now, a dress code for a lot of businesses is wearing a mask. Get the fuck over yourself. You should be used to that by now. Just because the majority of our nation has gone slack, and we are casual people anymore. Dressing up is a rarity. So what happened was here, Adam Michael Zaborowski, 35, entered Cigars International in Bethlehem Township Friday morning without a face covering, according to the Department of Law affidavit. Despite a statewide mandate from Governor Tom to requiring masks to be worn in businesses. Staff at the shop told him that he needed to wear a mask inside the store and would have his car that had his order taken to the curbside. He became irate, grabbed 2 cigars from the shelf, and exited without paying. So a store employee followed him to the parking lot to retrieve the merchandise, according to the affidavit. And the man fired a gun in the air before firing 2 rounds at the employee, according to this affidavit. Rachel, sitting behind the employee as the rounds were fired. He fled in a blue Dodge Dakota pickup. He was arrested the following day after engaging in a shootout with Pennsylvania State Police, where I guess he was shot. All over a mask. It's almost people that I have interacted with that want to change my business, whether they're wearing masks or not. So it's not of my business whether you can wear masks or not outside. I mean, it's good. I feel it's none of my business. But when you are in the public and you're affecting yourself and you're affecting your manner, what you're doing on the roads, what you're doing for the business, what you're doing for the public, it affects me, it affects the community. And just as the store can say no food, no dirt and service, especially under a government mandate in the middle of a pandemic, the business has a right to say no max, no service. And then also, look right, you tell us what you want to bring it out to you. Disregard, we will get it after you. What more do these people want? But it is our business, 100%, because these numbers of this virus are unfortunately not shrinking as we had hoped they would, because people are not thoughtful, they're not considerate, they're selfish. I've always said that Donald Trump is not the problem. He is a symptom of the problem, and he's a reflection of what a lot of Americans are about. He is 100% a symptom of America, and it becomes our problem because this is what we're about. If you'll notice in Trump's rhetoric, he very rarely expresses any sorrow or grief for the many victims of this COVID-19. He spends his time downplaying it, and he also spends his time playing the victim. And all I can say again is Donald Trump is not the victim. The victim are the ones that are getting ill and dying of this COVID-19. As far as I know, there's no one in the White House, especially the Oval Office, that is a victim of COVID-19. The only reason his politics has become a victim of COVID-19 is because his refusal to deal with it. We are now in the 244th year of our nation, and we have no leadership in this country. And I will be strong in making this statement. We don't have any leadership on either side of the aisle, as they say. We don't have any leadership in the Democrats. We don't have any leadership in the Republicans. It's not there on either side. We're in a quabbling, quagmire, horrible mess is where we are, with no leadership, and people are just kind of going, if we had that leadership. Was the problem with the Black Lives Matter movement is they have no leadership. There are no Martin Luther Kings out there. There are no strong people out there. Trump is not a strong person. He's a weak narcissist. A strong person is not worried about what people are thinking about them. They're focused on the subject matter. They're focused on the pandemic. They're focused on issues. In the middle of this, Trump is concerned about a question somebody asked him about a dead person, when he could simply have just said, just any acknowledgement that John Lewis certainly go down in history as a great man in the civil rights movement, and let it go. But no, it's about, he didn't come to my inauguration. He didn't come to my State of the Union address. Oh, I'm slain. I'm so victimized. That's Trump. I'm victimized. He's got, through his rhetoric, he's convinced all these people that these numbers are not right. It's a media hype. It's a Democratic hoax to ruin his career. And on and on with this rhetoric like this. And all these people genuinely buy this stuff. And without question, because he said it. These people will buy a politician who has a bachelor's in economics and call doctors who work in hospitals, who are infectious disease doctors, who went to school, medical school, and have experience and knowledge to deal with these things, they put his words over the doctors. So if you get, or your child, let's just say your child, so your child comes down with um, a toothache. He's got a horrible toothache, right? So your child comes down with a horrible toothache. You're going to take them to your financial planner. You're going to take them to your bank. Yes. What should I? Give me some guidance here. My child has toothache, and I respect you. What should I do, Mr. Banker? That's what you're doing. It's exactly what you're doing. Your banker's got an opinion, not an educated opinion. He has a freaking opinion, which is no greater than your opinion. I would want to go to someone that is educated and experienced in this subject to get as much factual information as I could. But no, we're taking our child that has a toothache or has a leukemia, whatever, to our banker. Shouldn't you be going to the emergency room? Oh no, I think my banker. I trust my banker's got. I like his opinions. I like what he says. You know, I think the doctors are they're not telling it right. Something's wrong in that medical thing. So I'm going to take my leukemia-ridden child to my banker. That's what I'm going to do. I think that'd be called child neglect, child abuse, child neglect. But that's what they're doing. Honestly, that's what they're doing, and they don't see it because, I mean, there is. I don't know. It just blows my mind. I mean, it's fine. You get an opinion, but if it's funny that everybody that comes down and gets sick with coronavirus, they do go to the doctor. They do go to get medicine. They're not running to Trump saying, "Well, Trump, I got this thing that I didn't think I'd get. Now what I do?" So there you go. And, it's like, hey, guys, whatever you want to do, but you are affecting us. It is our problem. It's not just your problem. If you don't want to, take the safety of the community, if that doesn't concern you, if you don't want to wear a mask, then don't go out in public or go somewhere that they will do curbside service to you. You don't have to shoot a gun at somebody because they told you to wear a mask in their store. It's no different than me having a store saying no shirt, no shoes, no service. It's right there on the door. You walk in, and then in the South especially, they want to have the racist thing about the guys that wear their pants down over their butt, which is interesting because they're not showing their butt. There's still cloth there. They don't have a bare butt. It's the only bare butts I've ever seen in public is the old white men who are bending over or squatting and the real crack of their ass shows, and nobody's bitching about that. But the young kids slack their pants down over their butt, which is still covered with cloth, and you find that fucking offensive. You don't find it offensive when the girls come out and they're showing, they got this little. I went to a wedding. I officiated a wedding. I didn't stay there long, but I officiated the wedding. You talk about naked women. I mean, they look like they had just gone to Victoria's Secrets and just come out with the skimpiest little lingerie type stuff to wear in public. I didn't see anybody going, "Oh, no, I don't want to see that." No, I saw a bunch of old men going, That's what I saw, tongues hanging out. They were showing skin, my friends, skin. But it offends you when some young person, especially a black kid, don't know what's wrong with them black kids. I ain't prejudiced, but them black kids. Yeah, right. They're not showing their butt. There's no skin showing. But it bothers you, doesn't it? Why does it bother you? But it doesn't bother you when the old man's out here and he's bending over picking up something. He's in the Walmart squatting down to get something from the lower shelf, and that much of the crack of his fucking hairy butt is showing. Didn't bother you at all. But the little black kid who chooses to have his outer pants kind of hanging over his butt a little bit, no skin showing, it's all covered with cloth. But it's like, oh, that's terrible. Don't come in my store like that. But mask. Oh, dear God. The government's telling me what to do. Like the government ain't telling you every part of your fucking life to do. Blind idiots is all I can say. Blind idiots. Stop and think, people. That's just it. Stop and think. Another little footnote here before I move on. Got over that little rant, but so this was provided to me yesterday. Some people were saying, throw it away, burn it. This is part of our history. I was already, believe it or not, 6 years out of high school when this particular issue came out. And this guy here in town found this in his dad's belongings, and it concerned him, and he had posted something about it on the internet, and people were just bashing, oh, what are you, fucking right? Don't post that shit here. Well, I'm going to show it because this is history, and this is real history, and this is freaking 6 years, almost 6.5 years after I graduated from high school. And it's this, the Klansmen. And they were, at this point, guess where these Klansmen in their garb were walking across? Recognize that bridge, folks? Yeah, I think you recognize it. That's where they were walking across, right there. 1979, 6 years, 6.5 years after my graduation. Now, you want to know what the KKK thought about socialism. So anyway, they marched because, well, the blacks did it, we can do it too. You know, they were pissed because the blacks marched from there, right here. They marched over that bridge to Montgomery, so that bothered them. So it says Selma to Montgomery, 1965, 1979. So they're just mimicking this. They couldn't handle that. So they got arrested because they didn't have a permit to march in the city of Montgomery. And here is what the Grand Poobah of the KKK said in this journal. I've been in socialist countries in Europe, and I've never seen anywhere that had less freedom of movement than today here in Montgomery, Alabama. As if socialism had anything to do with freedom of movement. But you see how that seed is being planted by racists in regards to socialism. There you go. That seed was planted back then, and you wonder why these people are against this socialism. Even though they don't have a problem with a man that makes over $2 million a year, whining that your unemployment check may be $600 a week. Was that his fucking utility bill? Or what? I don't know. So anyway, this is history. It's Bill Wilkerson was the guy's name that was head of this organization, and they've got all their crap. And yes, it is nothing to be proud of, but it is absolutely 100% part of our history. They've got Klan merchandise here. 1979, we're talking about before the internet. Then KKK. In June, the Invisible Empire purchased a small plane to assist officers of the Klan in flying to more remote parts of the country, those not served by commercial airlines. The plane will also allow the Imperial Wizard, who is a licensed pilot, to fly undetected to secret meetings of the Invisible Empire. We can be assured that this new addition to the Invisible Empire will greatly increase the number of meetings and rallies over the coming months. So they call it the KKK Air Force One, which I haven't done a follow-up of this. This is the first time I've seen this, and it is of historical significance, as repugnant and repulsive, I should say, as it is. Scottish clans, 1320, they quote on the front of this: "We fight not for glory, nor for wealth, nor for honor, but only for freedom, which no good man surrenders but with his life," as if they had experienced slavery in their lives. So there you go, folks. That's the story, and that's what's happening Tuesday, August the 4th, 2020. The year just a little over half over, and you should know the rest of the story. Tonight, hopefully we have a guest. If not, we're still going to go forward with what we're doing. What we have tonight at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time to 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time is our live stream with myself and Kevin Kane, myhaunteddollars.com. It'll be live stream Abnormal Alabama on Facebook here and Abnormal Alabama on YouTube. And so there you go. That's what's going on in the world today. All right. Thanks for joining in this little rant. Remember, if you vote for Tuberville, is a vote against your own well-being. And you want to keep Alabama a poverty-stricken state, I pity you and the generations to come.